Hello, beautiful people. Today is 2nd of August. My name is Sahil and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, today in GS Coder, we'll see the views of Joseph Stiglitz onto the media. Joseph Stiglitz, we have seen earlier, he is the winner of Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences and also served as the chief economist at the World Bank. He says that ensuring that we have a well-informed public citizenry is important for a well-functioning democracy, and that in turn requires an active and diverse media. Now, friends, when we talk about a democracy, democracy is not just about the political structure, but democracy is about ideas. And one of the idea of democracy is that knowledge leads to power as well as knowledge leads to empowerment. And such kind of empowerment of citizen is one of the key idea of a functional democracy. And guys, such empowerment by knowledge is effectively provided by the functional and diverse media, and therefore, media is also often called as the fourth pillar of democracy. And therefore, in India also, we need an active, free, fair, and diverse media. But, guys, seeing the present reality of media, can we say that such fourth pillar is actually functional? So, guys, this is a matter which we should ponder upon. So, guys, in GS paper number 3, directly the topic of media has been mentioned. So, in that particular direction, you can use that particular quote. Moreover, into the essays also, there could be a scope where such thing could be utilized. Now, guys, the main question that I gave you yesterday. So, the question says that World Bank once said India's urbanization is messy and hidden. Substantiate the statement and highlight the need of a new governance architecture and importance of integrated planning. Now, guys, the core theme of this particular question is urbanization. And see, in India, often urbanization is quoted as something which is undesirable. But urbanization is the reality to into the course of development. Because when higher development will be reached, then the majority of population will move from rural landscape to the urban areas, and there will be the growth of cities, which also happens to be the engines of growth. So, guys, population will migrate. The urbanization is problem in India because we have not able to manage the rate direction of the urbanization, and therefore it has been called as messy. So, for an idea, urbanization is not something undesirable. Rather, the planning of urbanization needs to be more integrated. Rather, unplanned urbanization is one which is undesirable or not required. So, friends, at the receiving end, that is the urban areas, the governance architecture needs to be such that it can absorb the migrant population that is coming into the urban areas, can provide them the basic necessities, and should provide them the opportunities to lead a complete and fulfilled life. And guys, when we are talking about opportunities, opportunities for justice, opportunities for economic growth, opportunities for social growth, all of them are to be provided. And now comes the integrated planning. So, guys, integrated planning is that all the verticals of governance should come together. For example, the urban areas should not only about the jobs, it should be about the social empowerment also. So, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is needed because it is also about the political empowerment. Therefore, law and order enforcement mechanism is also needed to be very much strong. After that, it is also about the quality of life. It is about good education, good health system. Therefore, ministries of health, family welfare, ministry of education, their efforts should also be integrated. And at the end of the day, economic empowerment is also the reality. So therefore, government's welfare mechanisms with respect to the poverty alleviation, economic growth, all these things, they are also needed to be aligned together. So an integrated planning is needed for the urban areas. So, guys, this is a kind of a bare framework on which you will be writing. However, you can substantiate this thing by the examples, by the convergence, how this thing could be achieved. For example, just a few days back, we had seen that government came out with the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Yojana, where 25 departments and ministries have been converged. So, on that line, into the urban areas also, the ministries and departments and the schemes should be converged together so that an integrated planning, a governance architecture can be made. So, guys, that's all into this thing. And now let's move to the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, starting up, first we'll take the overview of the entire paper first. Guys, today is Sunday, so there will be no editorials. Moreover, the news also happens to be less on Sundays. So, however, we'll see what has been given. So, the first news item mentions about the Israeli research in India, which is being coordinated by DRDO. So, here we'll see that how the concept of medical diplomacy is now emerging, and some other things with respect to this article will be seen. Then, guys, moving forward, here we can see that the credit guarantee extension has been mentioned. So with respect to the MSME sector, we'll see that what has happened and some insights will be taking up. Then NEP had dropped the Mandarin. So guys, we will be seeing the bigger picture that is forming here. Then guys, here you can see that in July, the sale of auto sector is picking up. However, guys, you do not need to go into the digits. Then guys, today into the city page as well as the regional pages, you can see that nothing much important news has been given. So guys, moving up here, you can see that Bal Gangadhar Tilak has been mentioned. So friends, 2020 marks the 100th death anniversary of Tilak, and we know that Tilak has given so much contribution in India's freedom struggle. He was the one who said that Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. His importance into the Home Rule League, Home Rule movement. So please prepare him into the history what is happening, because could be an important thing. After that, friends, moving forward, here we can see that a plea has been made in Supreme Court regarding the contempt power that Supreme Court is using. So some senior journalists have made a petition. However, substantial thing has not came out of this. Then guys, moving forward, see here, no need to go into the news. The people are being displaced due to the flood, and now they are being housed into the United Nations camps. So guys, I will just give a reference of International Organization for Migration, IOM. It brought a new category, that is the environmental migrants. So guys, as the environmental impact of the climate change will be coming, the instances of flooding etc will become even more aggravated, and such kind of migrants needs to get will be displaced from their original lands. So just as an idea, please keep it in your mind. After that, guys, on to the world's page, we can see that nothing important news has been given. It's all about conflict, regional thing, issues etc. Now here, Arab world's first nuclear plant, which have started recently, achieved criticality. So we'll see what is happening. Now guys, here China and Nepal are coming together. Though you need not to go into the MOUs that are being signed between two countries, because that is not matter of India. But guys, just a couple of days back, we had seen that China convened a quadrilateral dialogue between the countries such as China, Nepal, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. So what China is doing? China, by making these kind of statements, is bringing the India's neighborhood in China's influence, which might be something very serious into the times to come, because China can use India's neighbors against India. So just a trend which is developing, keep a thing into your mind. After that, guys, moving forward, on business page we can see only the corporate news etc has been given. Now guys, today's science and tech, guys, to be very frank, not important today, because first of all, then major news are with respect to the coronavirus, how social distancing helps into the coronavirus. Guys, not at all important, because if a breakthrough will be coming in COVID, only then it will be important. Every day thousands of these articles are coming, we simply can't keep a track. So guys, you can very safely ignore it. Moreover, as they are the studies, the uncertainty is also questioned. Now guys, here schizophrenia has been mentioned. Now first of all, the reason of schizophrenia is not known, and this news is mentioning one of the study which says that what could be the probable reason of schizophrenia. However, as it is a medical study, it is to be ascertained by the global medical community. So guys, until and unless your optional is not medical science, no need to go into such hardcore biology related aspects, they are not asked. Now guys, here arming India's poor against pandemic. So some good points have been given here. We'll see this thing what has been given. However, earlier there was the part 1 of also this article that we had also seen. So some additional points we'll see, and I will integrate the earlier article also. Then on FAQ page, education and NEP has been mentioned. Here the Rajasthan controversy has been mentioned. EIA has been mentioned here, and here the contempt of court has been mentioned. Then guys, moving on to the next page, not important, and on to the last page, the dhol has been mentioned. So guys, that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now starting up, friends, here we can see that government had further extended the credit guarantee scheme, and it will now even be extended to the larger firms and people belonging to the self-employed category. Now, before understanding this, we need to see certain background. So friends, as a pandemic started and economic slowdown came, government came with the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, where it was said that 20 lakh crore rupees fiscal package will be given, which will be equivalent to 10% of India's GDP. Now guys, under this fiscal package, government announced a scheme to specifically help to the MSME sector, and that scheme was the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. And it was said that now, as MSMEs are not in good economic conditions, 3 lakh crore rupees worth of loans should be provided to the MSMEs so that they can have adequate working capital, they can buy the raw material, they can resume their economic activities. Now, guys, these loans were to be provided by the banks and financial institutions. So, now a question might come into your mind, then what is the role of the government here? So guys, government role is this, that it was said that all these loans, their guarantee will be taken by the government. MSMEs don't need to pay any collateral or any guarantee for this particular thing. Now guys, obviously when I am saying that government will be taking guarantee, it doesn't make means that directly the prime minister will take the guarantee. Obviously there will be an organization. So guys, what was the organization? There was the National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company, and this particular organization also takes the guarantees of the mudra loan which are provided. So guys, just keep this thing into your mind. Now, friends, obviously, when government is taking guarantee of these many loan, it is not the case that all the loans will default. There will be some loan which will be defaulting, and if government has taken the guarantee, then it is government's responsibility to pay back to the banks. So, guys, under this ECLGS, 41,600 crore rupees corpus was also kept, so that if in case some of the loans are defaulted, then the money from here can be paid back to the banks. So guys, this was the entire mechanism which was going on. And out of this 3 lakh crore rupees target, the banks had even sanctioned the loan worth rupees 1.36 lakh crore and actually had given the 87,000 crore rupees loan. However, guys, this data is not that much important. Now guys, what has happened? Now government is saying that the scope of this entire scheme we are extended. How we are expanding? Earlier, the eligible MSMEs which can take benefit of these facilities were the ones which are having the maximum turnover of rupees 100 crore or 25 crore rupees of outstanding loan, only they can take the benefit. But now it has been said that we are extending it to the MSMEs having turnover of maximum 250 crore or loan outstanding of 50 crore. Now, guys, that's all mentioned here, but we need to understand that why such a change has come. So, guys, I will drag your attention to one some side extra information. Guys, what happened? Under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, government also changed the definition of the MSMEs. This was the old definition. Then the new definition was this one. Under new definition, micro industries are those where investment is up to 1 crore, turnover up to 5 crore. Small, that investment up to 10 crore, turnover up to 50 crore, and medium, investment up to 20 crore and turnover up to 100 crore. So guys, this was the change which came. However, just after a few days, government again revised, and into medium it said that it will be extended from 20 crore to 50 crore, and turnover will be extended from 100 crore to 250 crore. So as of today, 2020 August, this is the new definition of MSMEs. This, and this one, guys. Many of the places still the old one has been written. Just please keep in your mind because it is a very important thing. Now please pay attention here, guys. What government is doing? Government had extended the limit to 250 crore. Why? Because here the government has changed the limit of medium sector to the 250 crore. So it is collaborating it with this thing. So guys, just you need to have some conceptual clarity into your mind that if a thing is happening, why it is happening, and not only that, you should know only the factual aspect. So guys, this change has came. After that, one more thing, the self-employed people will also be now included. Self-employed means the doctors, chartered accountants, lawyers, etc. They are also now eligible under this thing. So guys, why they are eligible, there is also logic, because guys, under the MSME definition, the services also come, and the professionals, what they are doing, they are simply giving the services. So guys, this is the entire issue associated here. I hope this is clear, and now we'll move to next. Now guys, here we can see that ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, has fast tracked the approval for the Israeli research which they are carrying in India on Indian COVID-19 patients, and that entire thing will be coordinated by the DRDO. Now guys, what is this all news about? See, if you remember, just a few days back we had discussed that government of India and Israel are into the talks that Israel will be providing the India some technology with respect to the COVID-19 diagnosis. And in that direction, Israel had already perfected some new technologies to diagnose COVID-19 patients. So guys, they had perfected a audio test. So audio test, just by listening to the voice, it can be ascertained that whether a person is infected or not. Then there was a breath test, thermal testing, polyamino testing to further diagnose the COVID-19. Now guys, these testing capabilities will be extended to India, but for that, Indian patients have to be checked, their samples have to be taken to see whether they are working into the Indian conditions or not. So guys, the team of Israeli researchers have visited India, and they are collecting the saliva samples from more than 5,000 people, and now these samples as well as other data which has been collected, it has to be taken back to the Israel. And for all this thing, the ICMR is providing a fast track approval, and DRDO is coordinating the process. And further expedited approvals have also been given by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, as well as by the screening committees under the Ministry of Health. So guys, this is an example of the medical diplomacy, as how two countries are involving with each other, are expediting the process so that collectively some welfare for the people could be achieved. So guys, it is a very good example. We can use it into the India Israel relations, as well as a new emerging phenomena of diplomacy during the time of COVID-19. So guys, that's it. However, you don't need to go into the nitty gritties as into which hospitals these test is being conducted and all the kind of thing. So guys, that's all here, and now we'll move to next. Friends, earlier we had seen that the foreign relations impact the economic avenues. For example, after the worsening conditions at LAC, we focused more onto the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and made a call to boycott Chinese goods and Chinese firms. But now the foreign relations are also clouding or venturing into the education. So, friends, 2 days ago, National Education Policy 2020 was announced, and under this new education policy, it was emphasized that choice of some foreign languages should be given to the student as elective subject, and these foreign languages include languages such as German, Spanish, Portuguese, Asian languages such as Korean, Japanese, Thai, etc. Now guys, see, earlier when Kasturi Rangan committee submitted the draft of the NEP, then into that draft it said that Mandarin, which is widely spoken into the China, should also be included, and it was there. But now into the final version of NEP, into the list of foreign languages, Mandarin has been dropped, and supposedly it will not be taught into the schools. Now guys, if we see a little bit background with respect to the teaching of Mandarin in India, then guys, there was an education exchange program between India and China, which was signed for the first time in 2006 and was even renewed in 2015. Now guys, under this education exchange program, Hindi was to be taught in China and Mandarin was to be taught in India, and even detailed MOU was also signed in 2012. And now government is dropping this because it has been cited that it has certain security concerns. But what type of security concerns, that had not been outlined either by the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Education, or by the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. So guys, this was all about the factual news, but guys, just I would give a food for thought to you. We also need to think that whether such kind of thing is rational, or it is just a kind of a xenophobia that is going on into India as well as other countries. Because guys, right now we know that China is one of the major economic power, and the growing clout of China is such that we can't underestimate the potential of Mandarin into the coming course of time. Moreover, guys, see, there is one more point of view. It is on you. You can accept it or may not accept it because it is just a personal opinion. Guys, there are two things. One is government and other is a civilization. Right now, we are having the bad relations with the China because of the policies of the present government, and on that particular basis denying the academic accessibility to study one of the oldest civilization into the world might not be good onto the democratic values that India is holding. Now guys, though into the definition of nationalism which is right now going on to the social media, this thing is very much justified, but we as the civil servants need to rise up from these things and should make a rational inquiry that where the actions are justified and legitimate, and where they are being driven by the sentiments which might not be good onto the national considerations into the long run. So, guys, this is just an opinion from my side. You have every right to deny it or refute it because at the end of the day, we are living in a democratic nation. So, guys, this is the entire issue. Please keep in your mind just as a reference. Or it could be utilized in some of the IR answers. That's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, guys, here we can see that Arab world's first nuclear power plant has become operational and have even achieved the criticality. First of all, what is the criticality? Now, guys, we know that nuclear power plants work onto the principle of the nuclear fission, where a self-sustaining chain nuclear reaction begins. And again, guys, when this self-sustaining chain begins, then we say that a plant has achieved the criticality. It means that now onwards it will continuously be generating the electricity. So the criticality stage has been achieved here. Now guys, this nuclear power plant is located into the UAE and has been called as the Barak. Barak means blessing. Now guys, this is also the first for UAE because earlier UAE also launched the first Mars mission, which was called as the Hope. So guys, this particular power plant has been built by the corporation from the South Korea, and it is expected to provide electricity to the 25% of the population. So guys, UAE has been progressive into the Arab world, and this is one more first thing which has been taken up by UAE. So guys, just that's it, and now we'll move to next. Now, guys, this particular article is the part 2 of an earlier article where it was suggested that India's population might be having a huge deficiency of minerals and nutrients. Now, guys, into this article, I will integrate that also and we'll see holistically that what is the situation. So guys, see, our population have huge nutrient deficiency and deficiency even of those micronutrients which there is no reason, and particularly concerning here are the vitamin D and calcium. I'll explain why. Guys, see, first of all, how vitamin D is synthesized into the body. So whenever the sunlight or the light into the UV region falls on our skin, then it triggers a chemical reaction in cholesterol based molecule in our body, and it generates or helps to synthesize the vitamin D in our body. Then guys, this vitamin D is very important for our body because it helps into the protection of the cell membrane, After that, it also helps to prevent the bones to become too much brittle, which can lead to further complication. It prevents the problem of the osteoporosis, and even it prevents the inflammation of the tissues. So guys, it is very much important. Secondly, vitamin D also regulates or also synthesizes the calcium in our body. And guys, if vitamin D is not in adequate quantity, and if it doesn't helps into the synthesizing of the calcium, then because of the deficiency, the problem of rickets can also become very much prevalent into the people. Now guys, see, both of them, vitamin D as well as calcium, are deficient in our country, and it is a kind of a paradox. Why? Because as I told you, vitamin D is abundant, or is based onto the sunlight intensity. India is a tropical country, and being a tropical country, we have more than 230 days of sunshine, more or less, depending on to the region where you live. And therefore deficiency of vitamin D is a little bit ironic. After that, even India is the largest producer of the milk and milk products into the world, and therefore the deficiency of calcium is also not properly explained. However guys, right now into the times of pandemic, if better immunity is to be maintained, we need to make sure that such micronutrients are not deficient into the people. Moreover, government also started the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, but there also the emphasis is on providing the quantity of food, and quality is often being ignored, and the major nutrients are also not being emphasized. So guys, in that particular direction, much steps are needed. So what could be done? First of all, guys, in order to provide the nutritional sufficiency to the children into the schools, in the midday meal scheme, certain changes have to be made. And guys, here the suggestions are being given that along with the sambar or pulses, children should be given more vegetables such as the spinach and other leafy vegetables. Moreover, guys, it has also been said that omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids are needed to be provided, which can be provided by including the eggs as well as a non-vegetarian diet into the meal of the midday meal. After that, there could be certain easy things also. For example, every day as a part of the physical exercise, children should be made to be stand in sunlight for 15 to 20 minutes, so that vitamin D can be synthesized into their body. Moreover guys, as the part of a fitness regime, even the general population should be sensitized that they should take the sunlight every day for at least 20 to 25 minutes. Moreover guys, into the pandemic, we had seen that various NGOs are providing the food to the people, so there should be an emphasis that along with the food, they should also provide supplements which are rich in iron, zinc, iodine, calcium, etc. Moreover, guys, we all know that India is the largest generic pharmaceutical manufacturing country into the world, and therefore, as a part of the corporate social responsibility, these supplementary tablets could be procured from the companies who are making the medicines as well as supplemental drugs. Moreover, guys, apart from that, it has also been said that we should explore deriving nutrition from the seaweed. Now, India has a coastline of more than 7,500 kilometers, and thus there is huge availability of the seaweed such as algae. Now guys, it might be taboo in India to eat them, but they are a very rich source of vitamins, minerals, iodine, and omega 3 fatty acids, and are even consumed in abundance in countries such as Japan, Korea, China. And therefore in India also, we need to sensitize the people as well as government that seaweed nutrition should also be explored. So guys, this is all about this particular dimension, and some of the points are very good. You can integrate onto the questions related to the hunger. And guys, these things will not only be building the immunity into the times of pandemic, but will also solve the problem of hidden hunger that is prevalent in India. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, these are the articles from the FAQ page, and you can see that all of these articles we had already discussed into this last week. So guys, onto the education and NEP, I had made a separate video in which all the dimensions have been discussed. You can watch it, you might have also seen it. Then guys, onto the contempt of court, on 27th July, I had taken three articles, three editorials, clubbed them together, and I told you the entire issue of contempt of court from the origin, history, Supreme Court judgments, COC Act of India amendments, and the way forward. You can see it at this particular timestamp. Then, guys, the issue of Rajasthan controversy, we are tracing it from last 15-20 days whenever it started, and even the culmination of this we had seen just 2 days back on 31st July at this particular time. And guys, the article on EIA, I might say that it is not repeated, rather it is being abused every day. On EIA some news is coming. Moreover, guys, nothing has happened into EIA after the draft, but still everything it is onto the news because of somebody is criticizing it. However, the entire EIA we had discussed from the very scratch. You can refer it. So friends, I will not unnecessarily waste your time into the same repetition. You can see it. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, here the dhol has been mentioned. So into the conservation of dhol, three states, that is the Karnataka, Maharashtra and MP, had performed good, whereas there are various other states such as the Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Telangana and Goa, which are actually going on to the spree of giving clearances onto the various infrastructural projects, and therefore the lands for the dhol has been reduced and their population is going down. So they need to focus more onto the conservation. Now guys, we don't need to go into the nitty-gritties of this particular article. Just for the prelims, keep in mind that the dholes, these are also called as the wild dog. They are one of the top predators along with the tiger, and because of the carnivorous nature, they stand at the onto the higher end of the food pyramid, and in order to maintain the ecological integrity, they are very much important. So guys, this is their status, endangered on IUCN red list. So guys, that's it, and now we'll move to the question section. Friends, please pause the video and try to answer the question. So question number 1 is with respect to the municipal authorities. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 2 is with respect to the index of industrial production. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 3 is with respect to the Central Adoption Resource Authority. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 4 is with respect to the Gram Udyog Vikas Yojana. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. And friends, as we know that today is Sunday, and in Sunday we don't have the mains question. So guys, that's all for today. I hope you are liking the discussion. Thank you so much.